So, welcome everyone to onlineevents.co.uk's online interview with Christie O'Connor. Welcome, Christie,
Thanks,
to
John.
the interview.
Good to be here.
Yeah. Well, it was really nice to have you here tonight. We are broadcasting live from Centrex Conference Centre in Livingston, West Lothian, which is in the UK, because I guess so our audience could be anywhere in the world. We are here really in preparation for Christie's interview later, or at the end of the month, on the 29th of January, where Christie will outline her work and her experience working with people who are living with HIV and families who have someone within their family who is living with HIV. So we're really looking forward to that lecture. And if you scroll down, there's an opportunity to book your free ticket to the lecture. So that might be something you want to do after the interview tonight.
And you can either see that online or you can come through to Livingston.
Absolutely.
And
yes.
it's lovely through here.
Yeah.
It's my first time to be in Livingston. It's great.
So you've kind of spent the afternoon with us
Yeah.
here, and you've liked it here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got both those options, which is really great. What we want to do tonight, we're online till 8 o'clock, and we kind of are going to have a interview / chat about not so much how you do your work, but your experience around your work. Get a sense of you, Christie, and what's led you into the work and what's kept you here. As we were kind of saying earlier, we are hoping that we'll have a discussion. So as we're saying, you'll be able to see to this side of your chat room, of the video, there's a chat room with a little message. Type your chat message here. If you click on there, you can type away and ask Christie whatever you like. We'll respond to what we want to respond to. But you can ask whatever you like, and you can chat with each other. So hopefully we'll have a bit of a group discussion. So yeah.
I hope so.
Great. Okay, well, let's start what we're here for, Christie.
Okay.
So I guess on our blurb we say you have 17 years experience in the field of working therapeutically with people who are living with HIV. So can I ask you to begin with what got you thinking about counselling? What drew you to that field?
Okay. I have reached a kind of a plateau in my life, I guess, where I had a couple of options. I could either carry on along the route that I was going on, which didn't seem very attractive, or I could change altogether. And I decided I didn't want to be doing that same job for the next 25 years. Within the space of 2 weeks, 2 people that I knew committed suicide, and a third person who'd been fighting a battle with cancer for many years kind of finally had to accept that she was going to die. And all of this death in such a short space of time made me really start questioning my own life and what is life about. And I was searching for a way in which I could just discover that for myself. And a friend started working in the cafe of what was at that time Solas, which was a centre which worked with people with HIV and AIDS at that time, and that was in the early 90s. So he took over the cafe, and they were really short of volunteers, so I decided that would be an opportunity for me to understand more about life and death. So I started volunteering in the cafe, and then more and more what I was doing in the cafe was sitting and talking to people and just being available for people to chat with. So we set up a volunteer support team, and the job of the volunteer supporters was just to be in the cafe and just to chat with people about whatever.
Yeah.
So we did that, started doing counselling skills at that time.
Yeah.
And then I really got into it and decided that was really the route I wanted to go down.
Yeah. So here you were volunteering in a cafe, kind of thinking about how to better understand your own experience of life and death, and you were starting to listen to people. And is that what got you thinking about training and counselling skills?
Yes, yeah. Definitely. You know, that was part of what was required to be one of the volunteer support workers, was to do the first 2 modules of the Costco counselling skills course.
Yeah.
So we did that, and then I just really enjoyed it. I thought, this is actually what I'm meant to be doing. Just felt right.
Yeah, there was a real fit when you started
Definitely.
that training with you.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit more about SOLAS? I mean, that sounds really interesting. That was an agency that works with people who living with HIV. It sounds like it's a big part of your experience.
Yeah, SOLAS, it doesn't exist of itself anymore. It was part of Waverley Care. Waverley Care still exists, and so SOLAS kind of continues, but in a different guise, I guess. But at that time, SOLAS, Waverley Care was divided into 2 sections. One was Milestone House, which was the hospice for people with HIV and AIDS, and SOLAS was a day centre which offered information and support of varying kinds, so counselling, various alternative therapies, art, all sorts of art projects were going on.
So it's a real wide range of services they were offering at that time. And what was going on in the cafe sounds really significant in terms of offering people who would be there to hear people's experience.
Yeah, and it was really well used. I mean, the cafe was really busy, and it was a difficult time really with HIV, because at that time, in the early 90s, getting an HIV diagnosis was like getting a death sentence. A lot of the time people were told that they had 2, maybe 3 years to live, and people need support around that kind of diagnosis.
It's a real huge thing for someone to be told, and then to have that expectancy around in their life. So what was that like for you, as someone who was kind of developing those skills and learning about how to support people?
It was an amazing experience. It was an amazing place to be, really, because here were people who were really grappling with the kind of questions that were going on in my mind, which was, what is it about life and death? What does it mean? And I still don't claim to have come to any conclusion about either, but people were really living it, and it was just a wonderful experience for me to be able to share some of that with them.
Like, these were questions that were around in you, and for the people that you were then working with, they were living it in a very immediate way.
Very immediate, yeah.
And that, I guess that gave your work a certain quality, that people were living that experience.
Well, I guess it was that the people that I was working with were also experiencing the same kind of questions that were going on for me. So that fit. How best to describe it? But it's not something that often happens. That the majority of stuff that people are bringing is also stuff that you're questioning yourself.
Like as counsellors, we might work with a wide range of people, and so it's only every now and again that our own issues are matched so closely, or our own questions rather, I suppose. But at that time in your life, there was a real close match. Great. Well, that gives us a good sense of where you started with, and or started at. I'm also thinking, what I haven't said is that we have the chat room in front of us, haven't we, Christie?
We do, yes.
Yeah, so we can kind of